Genelec aims to create an uncolored sound. It should be as neutral as possible. Today, you can watch anything you want, anywhere, anytime. You can watch it in snippets, you can watch it in parts. It's probably the culmination of all the technologies that Genelec has been developing over the last, I would say, 7 to 10 years.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Smart Home Expo. Today with me I have Mr. Veeryavanta Pariat Bhide, the director at Alphatec Audio Video Solutions. He's the director of Residential Solutions and Project and is also more commonly known in the industry as Veeru. Veeruji, it's a pleasure meeting you today.
Good to be here.
How excited are you for the Smart Home Expo considering you have been exhibiting for at least 2 last editions?
We are very excited about the event, about the opportunity and the chance to meet up and see everybody again. People take a lot of trouble to come from around the country and you guys take a lot of trouble in organizing it. So from our side, we're going to make sure that we put on a good show.
Let's talk about the brand that you're going to be showcasing, and that is Genelec. Introduce Genelec for our audience. Tell us how Genelec is apart from the audio system manufacturers.
One of the standout points is that it has stayed as a product that was made in one location, in one factory in Finland ever since it started. One of the key things to remember is that Genelec started in order to supply products to the broadcast industry. And that is an industry that is extremely demanding. It is an industry that is filled with engineers who are the main target audience. So whatever Genelec makes as a product, whatever they promise in their brochures, whatever they promise in their specifications are verified, tested, relied upon by engineers of the highest degree.
Take us through the trend you have seen in the premium audio market, especially as a distributor in the Indian market.
In terms of entertainment, we're all very familiar with the convenience aspect of music and movies. Younger people also remember times when you had to wait for a program to appear on a particular day or on a particular date. Then only were you able to purchase that. Today, you can watch anything you want, anywhere, anytime. You can watch it in snippets, you can watch it in parts. When it comes to music, you can put together albums or you can put together playlists that are not necessarily quote unquote in an industry. So the freedom of how you want to entertain yourself, how you want to access your entertainment is extremely convenient now. Cost factors are also not a barrier anymore. Time, whether you want to watch it with a group, whether you want to watch it alone, whether you want to listen to music through a headphone, through loudspeakers, all that content is available. It is also available, I would say, today in many different quality aspects also. So if you want something very convenient, you can use Bluetooth. You want to use something a little better, you can use a wired connection through a NAS, through a streamer and have high quality music played as well. So that's where the case of having a high quality loudspeaker for our high resolution music as well as for 4K content and premium content that comes from our streaming channels is very critical to have a loudspeaker. And that's why Genelec, I feel the time has come for to people to really be able to take that studio grade or that studio tested loudspeaker and use it in the home as well.
Can you take us through some of the recent developments of Genelec?
I always talk about Genelec as developing products on two fronts, on the software side as well as on the hardware side. The hardware is what the end consumer sees in front of you. It's the loudspeaker, it's a box, it has a particular size, it's physical, it's got a shape. Behind that, there is a huge amount of technology on the software side. When we launched with your first expo in 2022, coming out of the pandemic, we focused very strongly on something called IP audio, which is audio that can be transmitted over an IP network. And that was very critical because it allows you to send power and signal and control over a single Cat6 cable to a loudspeaker. That is, the applications of that are extremely vast, whether it is for networked audio in home entertainment solutions or networked audio in large-scale offices or commercial establishments. Standard of being able to transmit all three, that is power, signal, and control over a single Cat6, that has become an industry standard now. And the standard of moving of AV over IP has become standard across many brands, which Genelec had developed many years ago. The second software that is extremely important for Genelec is their GLM, the Genelec Loudspeaker Management Software, which helps you evaluate the performance of a loudspeaker inside a room. Once you place a loudspeaker in a room, you must realize that a lot of the character of how the speaker sounds is dictated by the room, whether it has got too much echo, whether it's got too many soft surfaces. So when you measure the loudspeaker in the room with a microphone, The software helps you gauge how to get the best output from the loudspeaker. So that GLM, and this year they've launched the GLM 5.0. So version 5 is a big launch for Genelec on the software side. On the hardware side, they launched one flagship speaker called the A381. It's probably the culmination of all the technologies that Genelec has been developing over the last, I would say, 7 to 10 years. When you see the loudspeaker, it doesn't look like a traditional loudspeaker. That's because in terms of function, it is trying to overcome so many physical aspects of how music is listened to, or the realities of what happens when you bring a loudspeaker into a room. It is the perfect culmination of the hardware and the software working together to give you a perfect listening environment.
Take us through the design philosophy of Genelec. It's a very clean design that I've seen. It's not funky and it has a very beautiful design.
Thank you for using those words, because that's almost exactly as I would describe it. There is a simplicity to the way Genelec approaches design. When you look at the shape of the Genelec loudspeaker, whether it is the curves of the sides, whether it is the rear port, whether it is the all aluminum body, all those aspects, those physical aspects are all contributing to the efficiency and the quality of the sound that a Genelec loudspeaker gives you. What kind of sound does Genelec want to create? Genelec aims to create an uncolored sound. It should be as neutral as possible. So any instrument, any singer, whether it is instrument made of wood or made of brass, or whether it is an instrument played by an amateur or something that is coveted and made by hand by an Italian family 300 years ago, that sound of that violin should come through absolutely neutrally, without any artifacts or without any interpretation by the loudspeaker itself. And that is a very critical aim, and Genelec achieves that as an industry standard. Many loudspeaker manufacturers use Genelec as a benchmark of what neutral sound is. So when they design their loudspeakers, they need to know, okay, fine, this is how my speaker or how an engineer would look at sound. And then it is benchmarked against when they do their own designs.
At the upcoming Smart Home Expo, what specific products are going to be available at the show? What are going to be the live demos that people and professionals in the industry can experience?
What we're going to try and present is the entire gamut of what Genelec stands for. We will spend a lot of time in the booth presentation about the history and the future of what Genelec and what Genelec is currently achieved as of today. We want to take the audience through their entire experience. So we will showcase technologies from Genelec, as I mentioned before, PoE, that is IP-based audio systems. We will do cinema-based systems, high SPL, high-impact cinema systems. We will do simple music systems, 2 loudspeakers, maybe connected to a streamer of some sort. We're even considering connecting it to a turntable. Ultimately, the aim is to generate music and to represent music in its truest form. So we feel anything that we connect up, which means that as a homeowner, you might want to use it in your den, you might want to use it in a 5.1 surround sound system, you may want to use it in a large-scale, completely networked audio system with announcements, background music, everything going through a single IP network, or you may even want to connect it to your old-fashioned turntable and just listen to hi-fi. So we'll present all the aspects of what Genelec can do, and I'm sure if you spend the time with us, you'll be able to easily get immersed in the entire experience of what Genelec has to offer.
Demo rooms have been debuting for the first time in the Smart Home Expo this year, and Genelec has a demo room. So with demo rooms, how excited are you for that, and what are you looking forward to it?
No, we're very excited, and we're very glad that Smart Home Expo has taken the trouble to listen to us and make this arrangement at Geo. And like you said, the whole idea is to tell the story with the experience. And that's what we aim to do. I promise you, if you give us a little bit of your time, you will get an experience that you've never had before. And the idea being that entertainment is universal. But at the same time, one of the messages that we want to send out is the time that you really want to sit down, give yourself some breathing space, and you want to sit back, relax, and listen to an album, listen to your favorite song. At that time, invest in a system which will actually reward you and engage you and be able to really take you back to how that original recording was done, whether it's a movie or music.
How important is Smart Home Expo for Genelec as a brand, Alphatec as a distributor, and the industry as well?
It's been an observation, having taken part in your previous expos. It has been a want and a need from our industry that we should have a platform that brings together entertainment and automation onto one single platform. Because today, entertainment is codependent on IT, is codependent on being open to communication with other home convenience features. So whether it is being able to synchronize music with your lights or mood, and we have now open platforms with several automation companies, and we'll have examples of those. So somebody rings a doorbell. Now the doorbell can be in a location which is not close to the living room, or there's music playing in the living room, or there's background music, can you pause the music or turn the music down, allow the doorbell to ring softly, and you can set the volume for that. And then once it's rung, the music starts off again. So that requires integration at multiple platforms. It's entertainment. Yes, of course, it's about sitting back, relaxing, and forgetting about the outside world. But we do live in the reality of the fact that when you're staying in a home, you want to be connected to it as well.
What is your message for all the visitors who are going to be visiting the Smart Home Expo? How would you like to welcome them to the Genelec booth?
We're very excited to welcome them all to our booth at Genelec. We have a smallish kind of a booth downstairs where we'll take you through a little bit of the history of Genelec. We'd really like you guys to set aside some good time, because once you meet us downstairs, we'll invite you upstairs to our large experience center on the first floor, where we'll take you through a music experience, a movie experience, and the complete history, and really immerse you in the technology and brand that is Genelec.
Veeruji, it was a great pleasure speaking to you, and everyone who's watching right now, you are invited to the Geo World Convention Center from the 2nd to the 4th of May and see the best of audio video and see the best of smart home technology at the India's biggest smart home technology event. And I'm very excited to see Genelec's booth as well as the demo room. Veeruji, it will be a great pleasure meeting you there as well.
Thank you, Sunny. It'll be good to see you there. Thank you.